Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to my channel, Simply Michelle, with yours truly, Michelle here. If you are new and stopping by for the first time, thank you so much. I do hope that you will decide to subscribe and become a part of the tribe. And if you are returning, thank you so much for the love and support. It is greatly appreciated. And if you are returning and you have not subscribed, please do yourself a favor. Subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Now, without further ado, let's get into it, y'all. All right. So today we are talking about how to spot counterfeit men. So recently I had a conversation with a girlfriend of mine, and she was mentioning how she was looking for certain qualities within a man. And so we had just briefly touched on the topic of counterfeit men. I mentioned it, and so the more I thought about it, I was like, okay, we need to do an episode for counterfeit men because they are still around even in 2026. And I know for a lot of us, if you are trying to get back out there and date, you want to make sure that you're not coming across anybody who is going to waste your time. I actually had an experience not too long ago where, had I allowed them to, this person would have taken me down a rabbit hole. I might do a story time about that, but I don't know if I really want to give that any energy for real, so I haven't really decided if I want to do a story time on that. But pretty much this person was playing games, and I had to reel myself back in and just have like a little come to Jesus moment with myself and be like, okay girl, we not doing this. We not doing this. And so without further ado, let's get into it. For those of you who may not know what a counterfeit man is, I feel like you should know what a counterfeit man is if you don't, but a counterfeit man is a man who comes along. If you are dating, if you are looking for your husband, if you are looking for the one, your man, your boyfriend, your forever partner, your kingdom spouse, your divine masculine, whatever you want to call it. You're looking for someone who is serious just like you are. You're not looking for anybody that's playing any games. A lot of the times what will happen, especially if you are someone who's spiritual and you have invited God into your life and you've been praying to God and you've been asking God to send you a good man, and you're a woman, you're just, you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. You've been talking to God. You've been asking God to send you a good man. A lot of times that counterfeit man will come. He's basically a fake. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing, and he will come and he will try to convince you, through his actions and through his words, that he is the one, that he is God sent, and he will wear a mask and he will do a good job of playing that game with you until you take the bait and fall for it. And if you are not careful, you will fall for the counterfeit man before the real man comes into the picture. Now, a lot of people will look at the counterfeit man as being a test, especially if you are someone that's spiritual, especially if you have invited God into your life to help you with your relationships and to help you find that man who you are in spiritual alignment with. So sometimes people will look at a counterfeit man coming in as a test. Honestly, my personal opinion, in a sense, I do feel like it's a test as well, because I feel like it's testing your wisdom and discernment. And if you've been talking to God and building a relationship with God, and if you have God at the center of your foundation, it's definitely a test of patience. It's definitely a test of wisdom and discernment. Can you spot the red flags? Can you see the signs? And do you know your worth enough to be able to like walk away from that person and continue to just be patient until God brings you the right man? So without further ado, let me stop rambling on, but let's get into it. So sign, and I got my I got my tablet here, but I also have my notebook. Sometimes I use both. But so sign number one for spotting a counterfeit man is inconsistencies. The words and the actions don't match up. I feel like that's sign number one when it comes to dealing with a counterfeit man. He says, a lot of sweet things, makes a lot of promises, a lot of empty promises that he does not intend to keep. But, a lot of it is just to reel you in. What actually just popped up in my head now is clickbait. Clickbait. You know how you think you're gonna see one thing, or a video title says one thing, but when you click on it, it's something completely different. Clickbait goes hand in hand with the counterfeit man. That popped up in my head. Clickbait. So yeah, the actions and the words do not match at all. That's number one. Those inconsistencies. Watch out for that. Watch out for that. That is a big red flag. Okay. Then sign number two is that they love bomb. Now, the person that I briefly mentioned in the beginning of this video, where I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna, do a little story on it or not, because I really don't want to give that person no energy, because I'm like, okay, I blocked them and kept it moving. But that is what they did. A lot of love bombing, and I did call them out for it. I called them out for it. I'm like, no, because it comes off as disingenuous. Why are you calling me baby and sweetie and honey and all of this? Like, why is you and just overdoing it? So sign number two, you're dealing with a counterfeit man, is love bombing. So it's excessive flattery. It's over the top compliments and grand gestures. And it's very early on. When you meet this person, and you're getting to know this person, and this is what they do. And I did do just a little research on some of them. It says it's designed to gain approval and get something, not build real intimacy. So it's just to get you hooked. Like it's what they call that, bait and hook, bait and switch, something like that. It's just to keep, it's just to get you hooked. So yeah, number two, love bombing. All right, number three. Okay, the third sign that he is a counterfeit man is that he avoids deep connection. He has an emotional blockage. He avoids getting his emotions like too invested into you, too invested into the situation. So I did do a little research on that as well, just to go a little bit more in depth, dodges serious conversations. Um, if there's any talk, if there's any serious talk or feelings about the future, if say you're talking to this person and you're going through something and you're just trying to confide in this person for like emotional support or what have you, they're gonna avoid that. They're gonna avoid it. They're not going to really allow themselves to engage in that with you. And the relationship, it says, can feel emotionally shallow. So yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that. You want someone who is willing to take the time out to listen to what you have to say, shows that they're interested. They're actually listening to what you're saying, not pretending to be listening. They're not deflecting. And let me tell you, the other, child, I literally just went through this with a person. And I'm so glad like I cut it off as soon as possible, because personally for myself, I've done too much healing to allow myself to go back down that road when it comes to people, when it comes to men. So I'm not going to allow another man to come in and do some of the same things that I went through previously with exes that I've dealt with. I'm just not going to do it. I've done too much work on myself. I've come too far. I'm not going to allow it. And that's another thing too. It's kind of like you get tested. It's almost kind of like God wants to see, have you learned your lesson? Like, have you learned your lesson with that last person? Did you learn your lesson with that last situation? Oh, let's find out. And these counterfeits coming through, and be careful of the counterfeits who are spiritually manipulative too. The counterfeits that might come through with a few scriptures. You might see some posts of them talking about how they love God and God first, and they might be you know how sometimes you see some picture and they be, I owe it all to the big man upstairs, and you be like, oh, and he's spiritual and he loves God. Oh my goodness. It's just like, it's a way to reel you in. Be careful for those too, because there are plenty of those out there who pretend that they on their spiritual walk, they on their journey, all that stuff, and child, they just a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's, to me, it's really spiritual. The situation is spiritual because you really need wisdom and discernment. You really need wisdom and discernment. Like, you really have to be on your toes, and you have to be a good judge of character when it comes to these men, because some of them are so charming and some of them can be so convincing that we will literally overlook the signs. We will overlook the red flags. And some of us, we're just exhausted. We're tired of, for the ones who are actively dating, you're just exhausted. You're tired. And you're at a place where you don't have time to show someone how to treat you, show someone how to love you, show someone how to care for you. You're mentally drained, you're exhausted. You don't want to go through what you went through before. So sometimes the next person that comes along and you're ready to just be like, okay, this is it, this the one. They showing some pretty decent signs. Yeah, we gonna take them. This the one. And you're not really taking the time out to call out those behaviors and certain things that need to be put on blast. so you can get to the bottom of whether or not this person is genuine or whether they just putting on a show because they're trying to get something, right? So I feel like this is something that we've all been through, and we have a new wave, a new generation of young ladies and women that are going to be experiencing and going through the same thing. So this is something that we will always need someone, to help everybody out, to help a sister out. So, all right. But yeah, they avoid deep connection. They are emotionally blocked. They don't want to get emotionally invested into you and really into anything that you have going on. That's another sign. That was sign number 3. Sign number 4, they don't remember anything. It's not that they don't remember anything. It's important details that they should remember that they don't. It's like the moment, okay, and let me see here. Doesn't remember details. He acts interested but forgets important things you shared, showing a lack of genuine listening. This, oh my God, y'all. This goes back to the guy that I ended up blocking. So I'm gonna take it back to the love bombing because it's all gonna tie in. So doesn't remember the details. When I initially started talking to this guy, and it was just casual talk because this is someone that I grew up with. We grew up in the same neighborhood, and we've been knowing each other since we were like teenagers. And so he found my social media and he reached out to me with a friend request. And when I saw who it was, I was kind of apprehensive about, saying anything back to him. But, I went ahead and, I instant message. I was like, hey, what's up? And all of this love bombing and sweetheart and baby and queen and beautiful and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I'm like, wait, hold up. Stop the press. I told him, I said, I don't like love bombing. I don't like it when people love bomb. I was like, please don't love bomb me. I said, I would appreciate it if you don't call me all of those, extra names and stuff. And I told him why. And it was because my past relationship experiences that I have dealt with a lot of love bombing, manipulation, projection, gaslighting, things like that. So, I did not want, and plus after you've been through certain types of relationships, toxic situations, toxic relationships, you know how to spot this stuff. It's just easy to spot. You're able to spot it. And so I knew right off the rip he was love bombing me. And even after me explaining why, it was still like he didn't get it. And I'm like, I know full well your comprehension level cannot be that low. And then he's like, well, I'm not your man. Don't treat me like your ex. I'm not your ex. Don't put me in the same category as your ex. I'm like, I'm not comparing you to my ex. I'm not putting you in the same category as my ex. I'm just asking that you please do not love bomb me. That's it, and that's all. Please don't do all the extra baby this, baby that, sweetheart, queen, beautiful, all that stuff. Because I don't like it and I find it to be disingenuous. That's all I said. And it ended up turning into this whole debacle because he kept telling me that I was trying to make him out to be my ex, and I'm like, no, I'm not. I just simply don't want to be love bombed. It's really that simple. I'm not trying to make you be my ex. I know you're not my ex, and it's almost kind of like he was trying to say, you know, like trying to make me out to be something that I was not, when I clearly explained to you my reason for not wanting to be love bombed. So it's like you're just gonna play dumb with me, and you're gonna try to switch it around and make it seem like, oh, I'm coming at you with this baggage and these issues, when I'm just simply telling you, I'm simply, expressing, these are like healthy boundaries here. I'm making it clear to you that I don't want to be love bombed, and the reason why. This should not have to be like a whole argument. It should not have to be a whole situation, And then he starts projecting onto me and making me out to be like this bitter person who hasn't healed, who is accusing him of being my ex. And manipulative. It was manipulative behavior. And I'm like, okay. A hot mess. So yeah, they don't remember the details. That is number 4. Lack of detail retention. Doesn't remember important things you share because his focus isn't truly on you. It isn't truly on you. 9 times out of 10, it's what he can get from you. Like if he can get you in bed or something like that. It's something really shallow. They don't care enough to remember important things that you have expressed to them. All right. And sign number 5 that you may be dealing with a counterfeit man is they rush things too soon. They rush things too soon. Yes. So this is when they push for intense commitment or intimacy too quickly. So it's like they're jumping, ahead. Let me see. I'm sorry, y'all. That's my alarm that went off. I'm not editing that out of the video. But yes, they're just rushing things entirely too soon. It's like they're trying to move way too fast too soon. They're trying to rush into a commitment. They're trying to rush and get a place together with you. That's a red flag. They trying to rush and move in. Next thing you know, they done came to your house and they done made themselves all comfortable. Next thing you know, they getting mail at your house. Next thing you know, they kicking their feet up on your couch asking you what's for dinner. Like it can happen so fast it'll make your head spin. You'll be like, huh? What? Before you know it, you got somebody staying with you, shacking up in your house, and you haven't even approved of it, but they there. Also, be careful too, because the ones who like to rush things too soon, they're fast talkers. That goes along with the love bombing category as well. They're fast talkers. And you got to be careful, because if you are in a vulnerable state, and say you're someone who has been single for a long time, and sometimes when you're on, your single journey, and sometimes when you're living a single life, there can be moments, of loneliness. We are all human, okay? Those moments of loneliness does not mean that we are dissatisfied with the single life. It doesn't mean that we are unhappy. It doesn't mean that we don't enjoy the single life. But, sometimes we do crave attention from the opposite sex. Sometimes we do want to have a conversation with the opposite sex. Sometimes we do want company from the opposite sex, but you know, sometimes we can be in a state where we're kind of like really pessimistic, and your viewpoint may not be the best, and then someone comes in and it's like they say all of the things that you want to hear, or they seem like they're a great catch, and you don't really take the extra step to make sure that you're not dealing with somebody that's just coming in to love bomb you to get what they want from you, and string you along, and then after they get what they want, just going about their business. Sometimes we find ourselves in situations, it's like, Lord, how do we get here? Because somebody done came in and they done charmed us, and they done said all the things that we wanted to hear. Next thing you know, they done talked the pants off you, girl. Okay? They done ruined your celibacy journey. By the way, that has not happened to me. I'm still very much celibate, but I'm just saying it has been known to happen. So, we have to be really careful, especially with these counterfeits out here. We got to be really careful, very careful. And like I said, the ones who are spiritually and emotionally manipulative, especially the ones who, if they know you spiritual, if they know you religious, it don't matter whether you spiritual, whether you religious, whether you new age, if they know that you have any belief in a higher power, they gonna study it just enough so they can come in speaking that lingo, just so they can catch you off guard. Just so they can catch you up. Don't allow yourself to be fooled by the counterfeit and actually miss out on the real man that God has waiting for you. I know it can get really discouraging. I know it can get daunting. I know sometimes it can seem hopeless. I mean, I'm single myself. So, I go through my little waves. I'm in a space and place right now where, being single, I'm enjoying it, but at the same time, I most definitely want a genuine, healthy relationship, and I'm at a place in my life where, based on what I've seen and heard, and some of the things that I've experienced myself, and just me having life experience, period, I don't have any problems waiting. I don't have any problems waiting. Sometimes it really can get discouraging. It can. But make sure that these signs, these 5 signs that we went over, it's just 5 signs. It's more, but these 5 signs that I highlighted, I feel like those are the major signs that you should really look out for. Those are the major signs that you should really look out for when it comes to spotting a counterfeit man. And the moment you realize that you're dealing with a counterfeit man, run the other way. Block him. Block, delete, run, and don't look back, okay? Do not allow your curiosity to see where this could go, because let me tell you something, you're going to waste your time, and you're going to be sitting down somewhere in a corner crying, talking about, why did I do that? Okay, and then you're gonna be having to restart your healing journey all over again, or you're gonna have to go through that healing journey and get that man up out your system and everything else of the kind, child. It can get real ugly. But yes, please take these 5 signs into consideration, you all. Okay, and always pray to God for wisdom and discernment when it comes to any guy that you meet, any guy that comes into your life. Pray to God for wisdom and discernment, and just be patient. Wait on God to give you, a confirmation. Wait until you get a sign from the Holy Spirit that, it's okay to move forward. And make sure you definitely take these 5 signs into consideration to make sure you do not fall for a counterfeit man and miss out on the man that God has waiting for you. All right, y'all. Okay, that is it. So until we meet again, it's been real, it's been fun. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell if you have not done so. I would greatly appreciate it. Okay. And I hope everyone had a wonderful new year. And until next time, bye bye.